everyone, today I'll be doing a Solo Master Nightfall run, the SABER with Titan. The subclass I'll be using is Sentinel Top Tree Titan. For my kinetic, I'll be using the Night Watch. Next I'll be using the exotic bow, the Ticuu with Catalyst. For my heavy, I'll be using a arc sword, the Temptation Shocked. For my helmet, I'll be using Fire Recovery, Bow Ammo Finder, Sword Ammo Finder, Power of Rasputin. For the arms or the gauntlets, I'll be using Icefall Mantle with 10 resistance, Overload Bow, Anti-Barrier Sky Rifle with Rage of the Warmind Cell. For the chest armor, I'll be using Double Arc Resistance with 10 resistance and the Shattering Energy. Next, I'll be using Arrow Scavenger, Sword Scavenger, 10 resistance with Global Reach. Next, I'll be using Passive Guard, Bomber, Wrath of Rasputin with 5 resistance. I'm gonna go on my SABER and we're going to go to the actual Nightfall, the SABER. In this video, I decided to go with the Titan Top Tree Bubble. And of course, we're gonna be using the Ticuu, where it's gonna be everyone's best friend or people who don't really like it so much, like me, which I'll be explaining very soon why I don't like it. Now in this area, we're going to be capturing a plate, basically almost like Mars public event. There's going to be around 3 champions, so depending how much percent. So let me just give you guys the percent of barrier champions or champions spawning. So around 30% we're going to be having Overload champion. Then around 50% is going to be barrier champion, and around 80-ish% is going to be around Overload champion again, with one void servitor that likes to harass everyone. Now, since we're on Master, I'm going to wait until around 30% so the Overload champion can spawn. I'm going to hide in this little area, and of course have my sword equipped so I could see my surroundings. Once I hit around 30%, I decided to pull back since I wasn't able to spawn the champions. Now in this video is not the cleanest. I did had one video where it was super clean, but unfortunately I died at a bug, which I will be showing you very soon of what bug I died from, which is pretty funny to be honest. So if you have not spawned the champion, you can pull back and shoot down the turrets from the ship. I do recommend to use a bow, then the sky rifle, or if you are using a sniper, then just use a sniper to take down the turret. Now because my plan A wasn't working out too well, I wanted the champion to spawn before dealing with these fallen ads and the invisible ads. As you can see here, these guys that I'm killing right now, very dangerous. They can melt you down if you're just standing still or not blocking with the sword, etc. So finally I made the Overload champion to spawn. And when you do make the Overload champion to spawn, the ship will move away. So another method you can do is wait until around 30% until the champion spawns. You can pull back and the ship will fly away. You don't really have to shoot the turrets. This is very different from Grandmaster. Of course, Grandmaster would be a little different. I wouldn't recommend to go to this area where I'm standing. A big no-no. Now, my goal here is just to take down the Overload champion. You can do the hit-aim combo with the Ticuu, something that I don't really like to do at all. But that's the only efficient way to do the DPS with the Ticuu. When using Ticuu, you must hip fire and then aim. Hip fire aim combo. And sometimes it doesn't work with multiple overload champions surrounding you, which I will show very soon of the struggle I was having to deal with. Now I was waiting for my overshield to charge up, so now I'm just spamming the Ticuu using the hip fire and aim to just get rid of them. Once I do have the overshield, then I can just use a sword and kill everyone. Kill all the fallen ads as much as I can with the overshield, with the Icefall mantle. Once I clear all the ads, I'm going to wait for the next wave, and I want the barrier champion to spawn around 50%. Now there'll be 2 ships that will be spawning. You can shoot the turrets, it is optional on master version. Now in this video I decided to try to shoot the turrets. And then of course I had to back away because I was on red health. So always be cautious when shooting at the turret. And like I said, it's optional. You don't have to shoot it for the master version. Now, as you can see here, there are a couple of snipers that do like to hang around a little cliff or the mini hill where there's like a mini tree up ahead. There are a couple of ads I do want to kill first before dealing with the barrier champion. There are Pacific Fallen ads, especially the elite gold bars, where they do like to push towards you when you're trying to DPS with the barrier champion. So now it's just being a little reckless. Always make sure you're on good health. If you're on red health, then pull back. Now everything seems to be good. You can actually stand here to do DPS at the barrier champion or around this area. Now if I was using the sniper, then you can easily kill him very quickly. But since we're using double primary, I decided to just mix my weapons and try to use the Ticuu and the sky rifle. You can also use the sword to do DPS as well, but in this video, or in this part, I decided to save my sword. Once I take down the barrier champion, everything looks good to go. I was just destroying the war mine cells, and now I'm going to wait until 80%. So when 80% does appear, I'm going to pop my bubble, and I'm going to stay in the bubble until 100%. That way all these fallen ads, as you can see here, they're all throwing grenades. They're all trying to kill me. They all will despawn once you hit 100%. And you don't have to worry too much. The overload champion will not despawn. So you can actually stay here. Or on Hunter, you could just turn invisible and wait until 100%. That way all these fallen ads, all these elite fallen ads will despawn, and then you can easily take down the overload champion. Once the objective is complete of capturing this war set, or the public event, etc., you can take down the last overload champion. Just remember that there are 3 champions in this area, and it's always best to capture the plate as soon as possible. And always be careful with the overload champions. So now we're gonna go to the actual area, and I'm going to spare my way to the next room. So the next room we're gonna have a lot of explosive shanks, mini waves of ads. So the first wave of ads, we're gonna have 2 champions, 1 servitor, 1 overload. It's best to go around this area, and of course be careful of these red vandals, these red elite fallens, where they can melt you if you're not too careful. And there will be a couple of ads spawning from the left side, as you can see here. These guys, be very, very careful with these elite fallen ads that I just killed right now. Since we're using Ticuu, I decided to just do hip fire and aim to try to make an explosion towards them and hopefully RNG with the Warmind cell. Now the reason why I say RNG Warmind cell is since we have Wrath of Rasputin, it's a perk where you can make a Warmind cell with the Ticuu if you have that on. That's why I say the RNG of using Ticuu, of making Warmind cells. Now since we cleared out all the ads, there are 2 options you can do here. You can take down the Overload champion or the Barrier champion. Now I wanted to kill the Barrier champion first, and I'm trying to remember in this footage if I did it or not, or it wasn't working out. I do recommend using the sniper, but in this video I decided to use the scout. I already used the sniper last week, so I wanted to change it up a bit. And using a sniper for this season's really, really good. And of course for Grandmaster, I would recommend to have up a weapon if using a sniper. It just helps so much for Grandmaster. I was trying to kill this barrier servitor, and then we have a couple of these vandal snipers in my way. So when I was staggering the champion, temporarily the barrier champion won't immune all these fallens and overloads, and then you can have a chance to take them down. Now what I'm doing here is I'm just switching bow, or I'm switching the Ticuu to scout to try my best with the DPS. So once I kill the barrier champion, then we're gonna have second waves of ads spawning. It's gonna be shanks, sniper shanks, a couple of fallen ads, and for this week we have hot knife, so all shanks will have solar shields. That's another reason why I use Ticuu, because of the hot knife for this week. Now if there was no hot knife for this week, then I would use the Monarque Void Exotic over this one. And I'll be honest with you, the Monarque is better with overload champions than the Ticuu. And that's my opinion. I just feel like it's more reliable, and you'll see very soon of why, especially when it's more than when it's 2 overload champions you have to deal with, or 3 with a Ticuu. It can be a bit frustrating. When doing DPS with just 1 overload champion with a Ticuu, it's okay. But dealing with 2 or 3 all huddle up in a group, then you could have some problems where they will teleport and regain their health. And they can be very annoying, especially using Ticuu. So now we kill all the champions. I'm going to activate this fuse. But before I destroy it, I'm just making sure everything's good. Gathering a couple of ammo. I'm going to go to my safe zone. And I'm going to shoot down the fuse. Once I do shoot down the fuse, there will be 4 exploder shanks, which highly recommend you kill them. They will be invisible fallen ads, which I recommend you kill them as well. So just be careful with these elite fallens. They do like to push towards you, and they will try to kill you. So yeah, this area isn't so bad, to be honest. You just have to be careful with these invisible elite fallen ads. These guys are very annoying, very dangerous. And they can melt you pretty quickly, especially on Grandmaster. They can melt you pretty bad. Now, since I am going to kill all these snipers, there's gonna be a couple of overload champions. Yes, more overload champions. And there's gonna be around 2 of them. So I was trying to find a good area to kill them, and unfortunately I did not find a good angle. So these overload champions like to go everywhere, and in this footage, unfortunately, I had 2 of them, which is not good. And I was trying to kill them, right? And one of them was hiding to the left wall. So another thing I like about Ticuu is when you're doing the hip aim fire, the overload champion gets staggered, right? And then he starts moving left, right, front, RNG. And it's just so annoying. You can see here, I'm doing the aim hit combo. And then he's going to move to the left side because of Ticuu. All because of Ticuu, which is why I prefer Monarque, the Monarque, because it doesn't do this. And it's very, very annoying. So I finally was able to kill the first overload champion. And I could finally kill the last one. And I was running out of bow, which can be a bit very annoying. Now we're going to proceed to the next area. So you shoot this vent. I'm going to go to the next room. Now this room is a little tricky. So this is the area where I'm pretty sure the whole fire team can die, especially for Grandmaster. Now there are many ways to deal with this orb. So this orb charge will make you slow like a turtle. You won't be able to run. But there is a trick where you can jump to the ceiling and you can gain some momentum to carry the orb charge. Since we're on Titan, I'm going to jump to the ceiling to gain momentum. And it's a cool, I would say it's a cool trick to do, especially on Titan. So I'm just waiting for the lightning to pass by. And I'm going to quickly make my way to the left side. So once I jump over here, I'm going to dunk the orb charge, pop a shield just in case they try to attack me. And now we're going to be making our way to the next room. Now this area is a part where I had trouble, especially when using the Ticuu. Now there's going to be a lot of champions and a lot of snipers. Now in this area I was trying to make a war myself. That was my first step. But in this footage I wasn't able to make one. Not so much. So when you do clear down all the ads, you can take down the barrier champion. I always try my best to kill the barrier champion first in the overload, because this servitor likes to immune all the ads. Super annoying. And it can be annoying when using the sky rifle. So you can see that the overload teleported in front of me. Then he went all the way back near the servitor barrier champion. That's why it's just best to take down the barrier servitor. You can also pop your super for Titan to get the weapons of light. So now I'm just trying to be careful with the overload champion, since it is in the middle and is trying to kill me. When you do kill the servitor, then there'll be more overload champions will be spawning. So it's gonna be around 3. And as I mentioned in my beginning of the video, I don't like Ticuu, especially dealing with 3 overload champions. So I had a lot of trouble in this room. And it wasn't me, it was just the Ticuu. It just wasn't killing the overload champions. It was just a bit irritating. So there was one mistake I did over here where I desperately was looking for ammo and I went all the way from the back, which I highly recommend you don't do. But I highly recommend you don't do what I did, especially for this room. So once I take down the first overload champion, just always stand in the middle of the room, and hopefully an overload champion will stand in the middle with you and you can just do DPS. Now when doing DPS with the overload champion, there will be 3 Fallens. For some reason, infinitely, they will be pushing towards you. So always be careful with them when trying to do DPS with the overload champions. So I was just trying to find a good angle. And like I said in this video, I desperately was looking for ammo and then I went all the way from the back, which I would highly recommend not to do. So it's always best to do DPS at the overload champion around the middle area. And here, I think I ran out of ammo or he teleported. And it was just so annoying of doing the hip aim fire combo because the tracking of the hip fire kept missing the overload champion. So you can see here that I'm trying to kill the overload champion with Ticuu and it wasn't working out. So then I try again, and like I said, around this area where I'm standing, just try your best to kill the overload champion. And I was running out of ammo, so I wasn't able to kill them right away. So you can see I'm doing a hip fire combo, you know, reloading the bow, everything good, until I ran out of ammo. So I ran out of ammo, which was very, very annoying. So I quickly went to the backside because I was, you know, looking for ammo. And going to this area, if planning to go to this area, just be very cautious. And the weirdest thing about going to this area is the 3 fallen ads didn't spawn when I was standing here, which was very weird. So maybe this area is good. So the area that I was thinking of going wasn't really so bad. So I finally killed the overload champion, the second one, and then had to deal with the third one. So yeah, this is why I just don't like Ticuu. See, dealing with more than 2 overload champions with Ticuu is just very frustrating. I just don't like Ticuu, and you can see a perfect example. If I'm trying to do hip fire and it misses, and if it misses, then your DPS is messed up. Now imagine for Grandmaster, it has to be perfect. If you're not perfect, then they're gonna regain their health, and you're gonna waste all your bow and waste a lot of time. Now, I will say that using Ticuu with a fire team is good. It's very good. It's fun. But for solo, I don't think it's very fun at all. You have to be perfect. That's the problem with Ticuu. And that's why I prefer the Monarque or any legendary weapon with explosive payload to deal with the overload champions. Now, this area is a bit annoying because you have to kill the servitor. Now this servitor will teleport everywhere, so I'm trying my best to at least kill some of the snipers, and once it's staggered, I'm going to throw a nade and deal with a couple of adds as much as I can. And at the same time, I have to take down the barrier champion. Alright, so once I kill the barrier champion, you can clear down all the vandals. And yeah, my voice does sound a little weird right now because of the weather. It's very, very cloudy right now. So now dealing with 3 overload champions with Ticuu. Now dealing with Ticuu with 3 overload champions can be frustrating because you have to be perfect. You have to make sure the hip fire is hitting the overload champion you have to kill. If you don't make sure the hip fire is not hitting the Pacific overload champion, then he will regain his health and teleport. And I had many times where I'm doing the hip fire combo and they just regain their health. Very ridiculous. And sometimes there is tiny bugs where I do the right combo and then he just teleports. Doesn't work sometimes. And it can be very, very annoying. So I was happy that in this footage, the overload champion did not teleport when doing the aim hit fire combo. So now I dealt with 3 overload champions. Now we're actually going to go to the boss area. The boss area is probably... I mean, it isn't really so bad, to be honest. It's not so bad. Now, always be cautious when going down because I had times where I just die here. And yes, the fastest run I did was 29 minutes and I died by just falling down to the boss room. Yeah, pretty hilarious, isn't it? But unfortunately, I wasn't able to upload that video because I died. And I don't like uploading videos where I die. Unless it's corrupted. If it's corrupted, then yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind of a video where I died. Because corrupted is just horrible and it's always going to be a bad Nightfall no matter what I do. So once you kill all these adds, I pop the overshield. I'm going to do DPS so we can go to the next phase. So with the sword I'm using, I'm just going to do light hits. I'm not going to do any heavy so much. Just want to make sure the boss goes immune. And then I'm going to go back to my little safe zone. So when I go into the safe zone, we're going to be dealing with a barrier champion. And the barrier champion likes to immune all the shanks, especially the snipers. So now I'm just trying to take down the ore mine cell so I could do some DPS of the barrier champion. But unfortunately I wasn't able to do that. It disappeared as you saw there. So I decided to make another Warmind cell, and then finally I can stagger the champion. Now, the boss does like to switch specific weapons. So the second phase, he's going to have a sniper. Another thing I'd like to mention is in Grandmaster, the sniper for the boss that he uses can one-shot you. And for Master version, it can almost one-shot you, so I would say it can two-shot you. But if you are not on full health, then the boss can snipe you, one-shot you. Can kill you very quickly if you're not very careful. But he's very predictable of when he's going to snipe you. I would say that's the good thing about this boss. Now I pop another overshield so I can do DPS so I can make the boss actually go to the second phase. Now the boss does have 4 phases, or I would say 3 or 4 phases. So this is going to be the last phase where he's going to actually just immune himself. Now this area is safe until you kill the barrier champion. Then there's going to be electric wave that can kill you, so I wouldn't recommend to stand here after you kill the barrier champion. So now I'm just trying to clear all the ads, and I'm trying to stagger this barrier champion so I can actually kill these shanks. Now always be cautious with the boss since he can snipe you if you're not too careful. And another thing I'd like to mention, these shanks can snipe you as well, so always be cautious. So now we cleared out all the ads. So let's talk about the third phase. So the third phase, always be careful because he's going to be starting shooting void towards you once you kill the barrier champion. So once you kill the barrier champion, you have to move to the other side. Not where I'm standing. I wouldn't recommend to stand where I am because like I said, there's going to be electric lightning waves that will kill you of where I'm standing right now. So you must move all the way from the left side to the second safe zone. Since we're on sword and titan, I'm going to try to do DPS at the boss with the sword. And of course pop the titan bubble as well. But not yet, by the way, very soon. Because during this phase, we're gonna have waves of explosive shanks, which I do highly recommend to kill them as soon as possible. Now here I was just trying to do some DPS, not a lot. Because the boss will summon reinforcement. And the reinforcement is these exploding shanks. So basically for 2 minutes, I'm going to be shooting down all these exploder shanks. Basically. So you can actually stand here. And you can just actually take time to take all of them down. Now this wave isn't infinite, by the way. Sooner or later, like around 2 minutes as I said, the boss is gonna run out of explosive shanks. It's gonna run out and get fed up. Then very soon he'll be by himself. He won't have any ads protecting him. You can actually just do DPS with the sword with Titan. Now for Warlock. For Warlock, you can actually just use Chaos Reach or Nova Bomb to do DPS at the boss. And if using the sword, you could just pop a healing rift and then, you know, kill him. And as for Hunter, you can go for the Night Stalker, use the super bottom tree, and just, I would say to always just make sure his health is low to the 4th phase. So the 4th phase, he's going to go berserk, he's gonna go aggressive. He's basically gonna be like Stormcaller Warlock. He's gonna be spamming electric. And he will follow you. But because we're going to be doing Titan Bubble and we have an overshield for the Icefall Mantle, he's going to be pretty harmless. So now I'm going to do the DPS. Always do light swings at the boss since he's floating. So now he's going to go to the mini Stormcaller mode. And you can actually just do DPS, and of course don't forget to pop the overshield barricade. And there you go, guys, we finally beat the boss with Platinum rank. So yeah, isn't this fun? So using Ticuu, like I said, the only reason why I used Ticuu was a hot knife. So thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys next time.